welcome to our initial podcast. Barndominium podcast is what we're calling it. And we are here today with Jon Mykala and my son, Jonathon Mykala, to talk everything Barndominiums. Hey, Jonathon, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, good. All right. Hey, so we are bringing this to you because we love barndominiums. We thought we'd give you a little bit of a background story about how we got into the barndominium community and what our experiences look like and kind of walk through our love for barndos and what kind of the purpose of this podcast is. So what actually happened is back in 2018, Jonathon was getting married and we wanted to build a barn on our property to kind of host the wedding. Well, as we got into it, what we found is that beyond just having, a big space to have and store stuff, is we really wanted to have, we wanted to have it so that it was way more than a barn. So we kind of just went all in and totally tricked it out. And while neither one of us, Jonathon and his wife and son, nor my wife, and we don't live in it, but it is kind of a family event center on our property that could very easily be converted into a dwelling if we wanted to. And but we just had a big passion for it, and we've had all kinds of people over and look at it and say, man, why don't you move into this? Why don't you, rent it out? All stuff. No, it's just for family. But that was kind of our start on the barndominium. So, Jonathon, do you think of anything that to add to that kind of backstory?
Well, I mean, basically all you had to do is move a bed in there and you're all set, because you already got like a little living room set up upstairs. You got a loft area. You got a full kitchen and the bathroom. So it's it is ready to be like move in right away and live there. So whether we really thought about it at the time that we were building a barndominium, it ended up being a barndominium. So I think that the uniqueness of barndominiums is what the draw is right now, and that's what's really cool about them, is that they can be of various designs, and you can use them for various purposes. People are running businesses out of their barndominiums. Others are using them as wedding venues. So it's like kind of like a build that can serve as many purposes as possible. So there's a lot of different draws, and the affordability of them. So that's what we kind of, I guess, I do the marketing, and we kind of fell into it in a way, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think that's a great point. You kind of even segue into talking about affordability. So, for those that aren't familiar with us, I mean, we do have a Barndominium YouTube channel, a separate playlist, but we're mortgage bankers. So I've been in mortgage lending for 30 years. And to Jonathan's point, what we started finding is when, we got into the arena, is that a lot of people couldn't get financing for barndominiums. Banks won't touch them, that type of thing. And so we started doing some research. And this really kind of popped about a year ago, where we said, okay, we're gonna dig into this, find out what we can do. And so so now we're financing them, and we're like a leading source in the state of Michigan to go to for people trying to build a barndominium, because so many other lenders just want to shut people down and shun it. So we actually have a really good collaboration with a good friend of ours, Ben Hawes, over at Greenstone. And so there's a lot of things we do that Ben can't do, and then there's a lot of things Ben can do that we can't do. So we work between each other to really serve that barndominium community and reach out. And affordability is a big part of it, right? Because there are people that want to do their own work, and that makes things more affordable, and Ben can help with them. And we have to have a general contractor, but even with general contractors, we have reached out to builders all across the state of Michigan to try to compile a list that's easier access for people. And a lot of those builders are providing, square foot, builds per square foot considerably lower than what people are seeing on custom homes. So the affordability level is actually serving a need in what, Jonathon, what you and I talked to about before with, kind of the housing crisis in America, with not being able to afford or buy, a first home. So, I think barndominiums fits that, that another aspect of, not only are they cool, they're open spaces, they have multiple functions, but there's an affordability feature to it as well.
Yeah. So that's what it's like. So we created this YouTube channel, and it's just Mykala Mortgage, because we do more than just barndominium on there. So it's kind of diverse things. I mean, it is mostly barndominium information that we've put on there. And that's actually the huge draw to that channel is a lot of people go there for, questions, and the videos that we have out there provide great information. But one thing that we're segueing again into why we're doing this podcast is because I'm on there all the time, and we're getting requests for financing in Montana, Texas, all over the country. And unfortunately, we're a small bank, so we can't finance construction loans in a lot of different states. So we don't really have an answer for them other than saying, unfortunately, we can only finance construction loans in Michigan, and it's Florida, right? It's the other state that we do.
That's
so
right. Yes.
We only have 2 states
in Florida, right?
So we don't have the answers for them. And so this idea came into us just, recently. We're like, let's start a podcast, because what's going to be great about the podcast now is we can reach out and have a bunch of different guests on here that have varying backgrounds and can provide, a bunch of different information for all of you.
Yeah, I second that, Jonathan. I love this idea with doing the podcast, because what I've seen, I don't know how many Facebook groups I'm up to, but I think I'm a member of about 20 different Facebook groups across the country. And man, the questions on there, there are some fantastic questions, and being able to for us to be able to reach out and do a little vetting for people, so we know we're getting some quality answers, because online you never know what you're getting, but try to do the best job we can to bring on good quality guests with good quality answers to a lot of these questions. Everything from when I was first in there, somebody's putting out like, hey, how do I stop this oil canning? Well, I had no idea even what oil canning is. I had to do research on it, or people talking about their finishes for their their cement floors, and insulation's a big one. Open cell versus closed cell insulation. What's a mini split? And once when you get introduced initially to Barndominium, you're like, all that stuff sounds like a foreign language, and then you're into it and you start learning more about, like, oh, okay, all right, okay, that's what they're doing with the radiant heat and the insulation, and the different finishes and an overall construction, and to bring on different professionals that can really answer those questions is going to be so great for our audience. So we hope that you're interested in both following us on YouTube for those, and then obviously following us on the podcast, because we again, any feedback you give us, we'll go out and search for the answers. Just like initially when we heard people looking for builders, that's what we did. We went out and built a list of potential builders across the entire state of Michigan, and that's an ongoing process. We're continuing to vet and add and delete for guys and gals that aren't responding back to potential customers. But that's an evolving process too, and we want to do that with a podcast to really serve this community, because we love it. Like, I love the looks of Barndominiums, right? And just everything from like the batten board look, whether it's using steel siding, or they use the crossbarred shutters and the beams. Man, it is so cool. I love that rustic elegance that Barndominiums bring. It's just a great look. So
yeah, I agree. Hopefully one day. Currently, I don't live in Barndominium, but that's definitely the end goal for me. I know my brother, who does mortgages as well with us, he's in the process of building one. So if you go to our YouTube channel, they're actually going to be doing like a little mini series and documenting their build. So that's going to be really cool to watch and see the progress. For those that want to see what the start to in finish looks like.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is definitely something, is a reason why you're going to want to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe there, because Spence and Carly are going on, and they are going to they've already recorded their first episode. You're going to see everything from like the excitement to the pains. Like, I think they, some of it will be a little out of order, but I think they just got their contract, and there was that initial drop, and like, and it's funny because now I'm having to like treat him as like a client to walk through those processes of the financial piece. So, I had to revert back to 27 years ago when we built our house, Jonathon, and, you and Spence were younger. But that's stressful, thinking about the financials, and my stretching myself too far and put myself and my family in, financial risk from, where this is at, and, going through those pieces of it. So having all those elements in this format with podcast and our YouTube channel, I can't wait to share with the whole country Barndo community, because I know that, my conversations are like that with, everyday folks that are just trying to find a good home, build a good home for their family. So, yep.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see where this goes, and definitely stay tuned. We're going to be launching this. The reason why you should just subscribe to our YouTube channel is just because we're going to be posting the video formats on our YouTube channel. But for streaming for the podcast, we're going to be trying to get on all the different platforms like Spotify, your iTunes, and all that stuff. So
yeah, great point.
Yeah, for more information, if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, we'll do updates on that, to where this is leading and where you can find us, for more information. But YouTube's going to be the primary one, because I'm sure on our second episode, we'll say, hey, okay, we're fully, live on this platform. So where you can find us. So,
and that is a great point too, because, so what we do want to do is not just have it be informative, but we want to do the visual elements of it too, right? Because just as I'm talking about the looks of the Barndominiums, people want to, like me, I know I love checking out like the different plans and prints and seeing the finished product. So I'm sure if you're listening to this and you're part of the audience, you're going to want to actually see some of these awesome builds that people are doing. Like there's just actually one that went down not too far down the street from us that we drove by, and it was kind of hidden in this really pretty setting of pine trees, and I'm like, wow, man, that is super cool. I can't wait to see if I can find the owner someday and sneak in there with a video. And then that's kind of stuff that we can, keep the interview maybe of an owner on there, but then you can see the visual on the YouTube channel as well. So, yeah. Anything else you can think of, Jonathan, before we're wrapped up?
No, I think that touches kind of like all the introduction points that we wanted to cover. And, hopefully, you guys are going to really, you guys are really going to enjoy what we have coming, because I already have some contacts that are in Texas right now. So just a little hint there. I have contacts in Texas that I do plan on having them. There's 2 of them. They're big names in the barndominium industry, and we do plan on having them come on this podcast. So definitely stay tuned for those.
Yeah. Sounds good. So again, it's Jon and Jonathon Mykala with the Barndominium podcast. And thanks, and we'll see you on our next episode.
See you, everyone.